Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's been a minute. I am excited to be back, but at the same time, I will not lie to you guys. I am super, super, super tired. And I was thinking about this today before getting into the meat of the show. And I think I have a surprise for you guys tonight. Someone's going to hopefully jump in with me, maybe. But I was just thinking it is very possible that we may have to start doing this. I may have to start doing this like in the wee hours of the morning because that's when I seem to, my time to thrive is much, it's early in the morning, like 4 or 5, 6. I'm up at 4. And so by now I'm ready to go to bed. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. But nonetheless, I'm back for tonight. And again, I hope I have someone jumping in with me to discuss tonight's topic of choosing the right Mr. or Mrs. Right, or I say the right partner, the right mate. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But just because it's been so long, I kind of want to catch up, you guys, the comments, make those comments. Let me know you're out there, that you're listening. Um, After digging into this as many times we do, this is going to turn into kind of a short little series. One, because I do feel like most of us have just simply been taught, even if we don't realize it, we seem to be always looking for someone to, I'll say, date, and perhaps even marry. I don't know if we just really think about it going into, because we spend so much time, trying to find the right person, wanting to get a date, wanting to be somebody's baby, wanting to be somebody's wife, and probably more so women than men. And I'm going to say that I'm not speaking for men, but I do, based on who I talk to, and just being a woman, I think we are fed to believe, number one, that we have to have a partner. Like our value is based on having one or not having one. So that being said, we tend to put a lot of focus on just getting one, just getting somebody in our lives. So we're going to talk about that. And before, let me say this: I put that title out there. There is no right person. There is no right person to choose. It's more about you being the right person. So let me just let everybody know right off the top, for me, this is my thoughts on this. There is no right person. It's more about you being the right person for someone to do life with, who has the same mindset of about relationships and what you're getting into. It may be different. It is different for all of us. What we want, what we need, is different, but in most cases, we don't spend a lot of time growing internally to determine what it is that we want, not just in a relationship, but in life. In life, if you've heard me, if you've listened to me, and you've heard me say, when we're talking about relationships, the only time 1 plus 1 equals 1, and when you have two people that are consciously making a decision based on understanding that we are going in this together. These are the things that I need, to feel loved, seen, heard, valued, and this is the thing. These are the things that I need. That being said, it should always be more about giving rather than getting. If both people go into relationships with the mindset that we're going to share love, we're going to do love, not saying that you don't have expectations, expressed, verbalized expectations is necessary for sure. But so often we spend so much time looking for the person to be the right person rather than identifying within ourselves what makes us the right person. Number one, just more so for you. What's right about you that makes you a good fit? Because not everybody should be in a relationship. Not everybody should be seeking um, to be in a relationship until, and again, this is Tammy speaking, we have put in the work to be the right person for ourselves. Most everything that I talk about on here goes right back to the person you see in the mirror and how you identify with that person. Because you can't share love if you don't know love. You can't share yourself if you don't know who you are, what you need from yourself, from life, and especially from someone that you're going to do life with. So to catch you guys up, I'm still just a lover of being a grandma, and I gotta share my. I can't do a show without sharing some stories, and so I had the blessed opportunity to have my grandbabies again, like overnight, and got Zolly ready for school, and as I was fixing her breakfast, she has a cat, and Tom, I think, is a human. I mean, like, really, I think he's human, and he's not allowed in the kitchen, but I think he thought, well, grandma's here, I can play with this. So I told him several times, don't come in the kitchen, get out of the kitchen. So Zolly, who's 3, soon to be 4, she gets down and she shoves him, she's shoveling him away out of the kitchen. And he just kind of plops out of the kitchen and he sits there and he looks at her. And so she's rubbing on him, talking to him, saying, you cannot be in the kitchen, Tom. You know this. You got to stay out. I mean, she's having this whole conversation with Tom, and Tom is just kind of sitting there looking at her, seemingly to take it all in. She does her little thing and she comes back and she says, Grandma, Tom was really patient. And I thought, this is the cutest thing. Like, what her idea of patient is, I don't really know, but I know it's one of the things that we have. She's not a patient person. So we're always telling her, be patient, give yourself some time. She gets angry if she doesn't do stuff right the first time or whatever. She just doesn't have a lot of patience. Um, and so it was interesting for her to come back and say, he was so patient, Grandma. And I guess it was because he sat and he listened to her in her little mind. And it made me think about this show. Patience is one of the things that is needed in love. But how patient are you? And so this is why I say there is no right person. It's more about you being the right person. So I'm going to start out. I want to share something with you guys that you've probably heard before here on the show. But I want to share this again. And it's more about letting our scars fall in love. And if you've been on the Red Table Talk, hopefully you've seen this. So we're going to start it out and we're going to go from here. So let me pull this up and get you guys going. Okay. Where is it? There we go. So, okay. There are so many things. I'm reading the definition for here. You guys, hold on. Okay, we're seeking that special person who is right for us. But if you've been through enough relationships, you began to suspect there's no right person, just different flavors of wrong. Why is this? Because you yourself are wrong in some way, and you seek out partners who are wrong in some complementary way. That's very important. Let me say that again, because you yourself are wrong in some way. Let's get that out, that we're not perfect people. We're not showing up and we're just someone's everything. We're never going to be someone's everything. Um, so because you yourself are wrong in some way, and you seek out partners who are wrong in some complementary way. But it takes a lot of living to grow fully into your own wrongness. And it isn't until you finally run up against your deepest demons, your unsolvable problems, the ones that make you truly who you are, that we're ready to find a lifelong mate. Only then do you finally know what you're looking for. You're looking for the wrong person, but not just any wrong person, the right wrong person for you. Someone you lovingly gaze upon and think, this is the problem I want to have. I will find that special person who is wrong for me in just the right way. Let our scars fall in love. That's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen written about relationships. But do we really ever think, I am the wrong person? I am a wrong person, that I have to heal. I have to grow. I have to deal with those demons, as it says here, the deepest demons, your unsolvable problems, or and I don't like this word a lot, but I hear it so much and I know we deal with it, but I think sometimes we give it far too much attention. The trauma. Like we've all had something that has felt traumatic, that has traumatized us. But until we deal with those things, the those demons, those unsolvable, that seem unsolvable, how can we be the right person for anyone? We're going to them looking to get, not necessarily to share, and the ability to give. And anytime you're going into a relationship thinking, okay, what am I going to get? What are you going to give me? Then you miss out on, this is a shared thing. It's not about just what you are giving me. And sometimes we want this partner to be all these things that we're not, that we're just certainly not, because we've not put in the work to be that person. But then we think that, oh, you need to be my right person. I have all these expectations of you. What are you going to do for me? And how are you going to make me happy? This is why you guys see so many people saying, okay, this is my soulmate. This is, I finally met the one. And then a year or two, if that later, that relationship is over and done, and there's someone else in that space, again with the same words, oh, this is the one, I've met my soulmate. So if we're meeting our soulmates, if these are our soulmates, why are we losing these relationships? So you guys give me a minute, I'm going to share the link. So let's see here. So again, this is what I'm talking about tonight. So if you guys were thinking, oh, how can I meet my right partner? It's you become the right partner. You make sure that you have the ability, the character qualities that you're looking for. Because if you're looking for them and you don't have them, no one's going to be able to give them to you, because you cannot receive what you not consistently, what you do not identify with. So keep that in mind. You cannot give what you do not have. And most of us, if we would be honest, we don't know love. We don't know what we are expecting from love. We don't know what we're expecting from people. We're so caught up in getting that person, so much so that we just want a person. And then we realize, oh, this is work. It takes work to keep a relationship going. It takes consistent growth, um, individually, personally, and then collectively. Okay, thank you guys, and I am back. So I want to look over. You guys have heard the First Corinthians, and I know this is about Paul writing, and this is about love, because again, you guys, I think we get caught up in the feelings of relationship, and I got a man, and this is more so women, rather than I guess the question is, why do you want to be in a relationship? Ask that of yourself. Let's just forget about choosing the right partner. Why do you want to be in a relationship? What is the reason? It might sound like a silly question, but you will be surprised if you sit down and think about why do I want to be in a relationship? Is it because society tells me I have to? Why do I need to have this man, or feel that I have to? Let me say that. Feel, because I don't think we have to have that kind of relationship. I think it's one of the greatest things in the world, but I also think that it's one of the things that we are so not prepared for. And so we miss out. The soulmate could have been there. But I do believe the traumatic experiences that we don't deal with can, and does, I won't say can, it does cause relationships that may could have worked, that might have worked had both people did the work to make it. Because if you have a half a person, if you have two halves showing up, I am not completely where I need to be so that I can be emotionally healthy in this relationship for my right, wrong person, that right, wrong person, the problem that I want to have. Because no matter who you're with, no matter how much you love them, in some way, they are the right, wrong person. You have to choose to say, this is worth it. We don't want to do the work that makes it worth it. And sometimes it's not worth it because we're not prepared to do the work. There is Mr. Y'all, look who I have.
Hey, hey, hey.
I don't know if you got to hear any of it. How's it
Oh,
going?
good. How are you?
Great, great. Y'all, this is my surprise. Look who's
What's happening?
here. Oh my gosh. I'm talking about my right, wrong person.
Oh, Lord.
I don't even know if you knew what the topic is. Did you know what the topic is tonight?
You know what? I did not. I literally just walked through the door, and I was on the road, so I didn't see the link until I parked, and I said, "Oh, there it is."
Yes, yes, yes. It's all good though. It's all good. So the title is choosing, and we're gonna want you to catch us up on what's been going on with you. But choosing Mr. or Mrs. Right. And of course, you probably, I don't probably have to say this, but to me, my opinion, there is no Mr. or Mrs. Right.
Hmm.
To choose is about being the right person for you being the right person, and making that your focus, because as I said, sometimes what the things that we expect of Mr. Right or Mrs. Right are things that we don't possess,
Totally agree,
that
Tammy.
we don't own.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back with you. So, Tammy, I think oftentimes, and forgive me if I repeat anything that you said. I know we have a habit of agreeing on a lot of things, but I will say that oftentimes what you just said gets left out. I think we focus on what we think we want, and sometimes we don't even know what we want. But we think about what we want other people to bring to the table. This is what I want. This is what I need.
Hmm.
But what we don't do is say, okay, here I am. Here's what I bring to the table. Here's what I can do to enhance somebody's life. And really, nothing should nothing should change other than titles, right?
Mm,
Because who you are as a person should remain the same. And
mm.
if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you bring to the table, then you have no business trying to add to somebody's life.
Would you agree if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want?
I agree with that too,
Okay.
because, and that's why I started off by saying, you think you know, you don't
Mm,
really know, but you think you know. I want a
mm,
man who's this. I want a woman with this or who does this, but ultimately, until you have figured out who you are and what you offer, what you bring to the table, you really have no idea, and that's how we end up settling. That's how we
mm.
end up in situations or relationships, and then realizing, ooh, this was not a good idea, and we like to point the finger at the other person, but
Mhm,
ultimately it comes back to you,
mhm,
because who you are, you often attract, and uh, and I don't think we realize that. And I think, and I know people say opposites attract, and yes, you do need somebody, who does possess, qualities that you don't have. It makes for a good balance. However, I think a lot of times when we don't know, when we are confused ourselves, I think we attract people who bring out us in the relationship, and it's so easy for us to point the finger and look down on people, but but really, if you look at it and you look at all the facts and the evidence, a lot of times the things that upset you or bother you the most,
mm.
if you pay attention to what the other person is saying, a lot of times it's you. Like, you are seeing yourself in that other person, and you don't like it.
What you see.
You
It's a
don't like what
reminder
you
of
see.
right. It's a reminder, I think, a lot of times of our failures that we don't um focus on. We got Mr. Trini in the house.
So what you
Did I
call me?
say
What you call me?
Rodney? Where
My
did you
man Trent.
What's up?
Rodney, we can't see you. What happened to you? Rodney.
There,
Okay, there you
there
go.
I am.
There you go.
What's
Well,
going on?
welcome. We got
What's
another
up, Trent?
special guest.
What up?
What's up, Trent?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Thank you for jumping in here. I know you got something to say on this, Mr. Wright and Mrs. Wright.
Well,
I want to ask you guys how you doing, Trent? Thank you. How's it
I'm
going?
good. I'm good. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good,
Good.
good,
Yes.
good. We looking in the mirror again tonight, trying to get people to know that it's not about choosing Mr. Right. It's about being Mr. or Mrs. Right. So what do you say? What do you say here?
Well, the perfect person is actually yourself.
Mm,
The perfect person for yourself is yourself. You won't find the right person until you find yourself.
hmm What do y'all think about? So I was listening to something. I can't remember what it was, and this guy said, and I think, okay, it's up there. I missed a word there. We're attracted and well, I didn't. We're attracted and fall for those who care for us in familiar ways. Basically, from a childhood perspective, because I do believe that we don't spend enough time as an adult learning how we learned to love,
Mm.
not just others, but even ourselves. And so when you take that in the world, we have a lot of children, adult children, trying to be in relationships. And we all know the babies don't know how to, well, nowadays they might know better than we do. But I saw that because it says sometimes we're attracted to people because there's a familiarity, I can't say that word, in how we were loved and what our take is on love. And for women, I'll say daddy issues.
I could agree with that. I'll be honest with you. I could agree with that. I found myself being attracted to women that reminded me of my mother and the way my mother loved me.
And you know what, Tammy, I'll say this. I think that's why it's important to know who you are at that moment, at that point, because who's to say that you were loved in an appropriate way?
Right.
Who's
Right.
to say, who's to say that the way that you receive love is or the way that you know love or understand love, who's to say that is popular? Who's to say that that's how most of women or men love? And I think, that's how you have that's why you have to know who you are, because the way that you grew up, right, you could have evolved as a person and said, I saw this as a kid. My dad beat my mom, and then turned around and said that he loved her. My dad cheated on my mom, but then he turned around and like always like bought her gifts and flowers and all of that. And you may grow up
Mm.
thinking this is appropriate. It's okay for me to hit a woman as long as I come back and say I love you. It's okay for me to have multiple women, but at the same time, I can buy you flowers and you forgive me, right? Because mom is still there, right? So you, in your mind, well, shoot, well, my mom went through all of this pain and she's still there. So hey, I'm gonna do it too. When I get older, and sometimes it's subconscious, right? You don't even realize
Hmm.
that you grew up that way or you take on these behaviors, and so you adopt that, and then you can't figure out why your relationships aren't working out or why you keep running into a dead end. And it's, well, the woman that you came across, that that may not be your mother, right? She may remind you, she may take care of you. Could be an older sister, could be cousins that you were around, could be uncles, your father. Like, it doesn't matter. But you know, I think that's why we need to mature and
Hmm.
learn about ourselves through our own experiences.
Hmm.
Just because, like, you're gonna see life differently, or at least you should see life differently as an adult than you did as a child.
Right.
What do you, okay, so if you guys had to ask the question, oh, and it's men. Um, why, well, that might be a difficult question for you guys.
All
I
right,
don't
Ed,
want to,
be ready.
Shoot it. Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
why, okay, why do you feel or do you feel it's important to be in a relationship? And if so, why? What's your why? Because I do think, I don't know if you heard the beginning, I think most people, especially women, we want to be in a relationship, but I also think a lot of that is just based on the world saying that you're supposed to um, grow up, get married, have a baby, take care of your family, this and that. Not saying anything's wrong with that, but I think sometimes we jump the gun before we are emotionally prepared. So why do you think people, let generalize it, why do you think people want to be in a relationship?
Great question.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think it's a need for most people. But personally, me, to go back to answer you, the top of that question, I don't feel the need to be in a relationship. Not at the season that I'm at in my life right now. I don't feel the need to have.
Before then, what was, if did was there a time where you just wanted to be in relationships, if per se, if that's what we want to call them?
Honestly, for me, I was very reckless, coming up as a teenager and well into my 30s. I was very reckless. I did it because I could, but it's something I just wanted to do, was deal with women. Period. I can't sit there and say that I wanted to be in a relationship, because if I would have been in a relationship, I would have had one last more than 10 years, more than 15 years.
Mm, mm,
I ran through them. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest. So I can't say that I had a need for a relationship. And now in this season of my life, I don't feel the need to even be in a relationship with a woman, because that's just not where I'm at. I'm so focused on this recovery. That's all I'm focused on.
mhm.
I'm glad that you asked this question, Tammy, because
Mhm.
it's something that has crossed my mind. Um, you know, recently, and we hear a lot about um, women being from Mars and men being from Venus, and we hear all of these comparisons and analogies. But one of the things that has been on my mind is, generally speaking, and this may change, so don't hold me to it 5 years from now because it may change. But generally speaking, I think women want to be needed, and I think men need to be wanted. So women need to feel appreciated and valued, and they need you to cook for them, clean for them. Like, they want to feel needed, right? Like, what is my purpose of being here? Like, what, like, they want to be needed. Like, what does this man need from me? Could be sex, could be companionship, could be he needs, he needs me to clean for him, needs me to cook for him, needs me to handle the finances, right? Like, women want to be needed, whereas for men just need to be wanted, right? Like, it's enough for us that you want us. We don't need anything, right? But we take pride in the fact that, oh, she wants me, she's attracted to me, oh, she likes me, right? Because we're simple people, right? And the fact that, oh, she looked at me, right? Or, oh, like, oh, she smiled at me. Oh, okay. Oh, she talked to me, right? And that's enough for us. Like, we're cool, right? Whereas, like, with women, I feel like there's a need there. It's like, I want him to need me. I want him to rely on me. I want him to, like, oh, he needs me to do this. He needs me to do that. So I think therein lies the difference. So I
So
think that
that's
women be needed, and I think men need to be wanted.
We can't
so
hear you.
all you're saying most men need to be wanted, right?
Right, generally speaking. I'm not saying everybody,
Gotcha.
but just based on things that I've experienced in my own life, things that I've seen, things that I've heard, conversations I've had with people.
Right.
I feel like women take pride in being needed.
So would you guys both agree, say, so for this, one of the answers was, I want someone to love me and make me feel special and worthy. Would you say that that is mostly, what is that? I'm going to ask you, is that a woman's answer? Is that why women look for relationships? I want someone to love me and make me feel special and worthy.
It
I
could go
don't
both
want
ways.
to be.
It sounds more like a woman saying that,
Mhm.
but I first thing that said when you said that, insecurity popped up in my head.
I would say, like, I would think that that's a woman saying that, because for me, I don't need to
Word?
feel special and worthy. I
Exactly.
like I like I don't need it. That Because for me, one of the most unattractive things for me is somebody who's unattracted to me. Like, if you don't want me, cool, bye, I'm out, right? you know, but if 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 I'm single, you're single, or if we're in a relationship, just knowing like, oh, she likes me, good enough. Like, I don't need or want, like, all of these things. Like, and to me, like, I don't need to feel special and worthy. Like, I don't need all that. Like,
It's
you like me, cool, good enough.
I'll say this. I do feel like a woman may be more open to being verbal about, I want someone to love me and make me feel special and worthy. But I think if we're honest, there've been times where we've really needed that, and yes, the self-esteem, or the insecurity, I think was the word that you used, Trent. Yes, it is, but that goes back also to not just how your parents um did this love thing, but how they validated you in love as a child, or not, or did not validate. So the need to be loved. I think we all have just a natural need to be loved, um, cared for, adored, or whatever. That we have a that comes naturally. But you guys, especially, we just have to be honest. Most of our parents did not prepare us for love.
The majority of them, not
Right.
most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we come from this place of feeling unprotected in love, or not protected, because some of the other answers was, I don't want to be alone and lonely anymore. So imagine going into a relationship with that thought as well.
So
Even I want to have
all,
children.
did
Hmm?
you say all women? Was that all just women? 'Cause,
Don't matter.
like,
Don't matter. Because I see. I think again, I'm going to go back to men in they may feel this way. They may have, not so much of as women do, but especially the first one. I think men do have a need to feel, and I think you used the word wanted, Rodney. I guess is the word, but I think men feel the same way about wanting someone to love them for who they are. Like what I read before, you're a problem that I want to have. Your mess is something that I is not going to keep me from loving you. As long as you can identify that there is mess and that we together with our own wings on this one body can handle it. We
I,
will we will deal with it.
I'm going to go
how
back to
long do we carry the mess? Though?
Say what?
How long do we carry the mess?
When you're in a relationship, I think there's always going to be something. And I think we give up sometimes too soon because we don't address it. Can in a relationship, you guys, it can be something as simple as um what do we do at night when we go to bed? Is the TV on? Is the TV off?
Right.
When you're deep in a relationship, those are the small things that come up that can cause conflict. And even just with the word conflict, how does your partner, do you even talk about how do you deal with conflict? What's your conflict? What's your style of conflict when we're in an argument? How do we do it? You be surprised how many people or how much we don't talk about that affects the
Here's
right person.
here's my thought process on that. When you said the smallest things, right? Behind
Hmm.
every small thing, there's a deeper hole.
Right, right.
Something's going on besides that. Oh, I don't like the way she laid that toothpaste on that toothbrush. Something bigger than that.
But you know what? It's usually the bigger thing has more to do with the person who is, and I'm not saying only that person, but the bigger thing has more to do. I'll say me. When here's where I am. When something offends me, I try to figure out why. It's kind of like the thing you said, kick dog will holler, right? When something offends me, I try to figure out why. What has what has caused a fence to be there anyway? Because it's not just about that thing.
Right.
Because if it offended me, then something's already there. And so that goes back to saying not choosing the right partner, but being able to be the right partner, being emotionally healthy, being able to communicate what you want, what you need, communicate your boundaries. And you cannot do that unless you are, and we've all said that, or this, unless you are already your perfect person for you, your right person for you.
I,
And people are just not looking in that mirror to do that.
so Tammy, I completely agree with what you said, but I'm going to connect it back to what Trent said about insecurity because I agree with that,
Mhm.
too. And I think it has a lot to do with it. Because here's the thing: happiness comes from within,
Mhm.
and you should never leave your happiness up to anybody other than you. And so, if you are a secure person, right, and you are just happy within, and you are peaceful or at peace within, right? You can't disrupt that, because if you do, I'm gonna notice it, right? And I'm gonna be like, this is off. Like, this is wrong. And not to say that you like in the relationship with the person, but you know that like wait a minute, I'm a happy person, right? And so if I find that I'm being irritated by something or frustrated, I agree with you. I think that the first thing I'm going to do is look within, because I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm just a naturally happy person.
Am I the crazy?
I'm chilling, right?
Exactly.
Right. And so for me, if somebody can just disrupt all of that, right? Like I don't look to other people to make me happy, because if people can make you happy, people can make you sad. The
Yes.
same people that make you laugh will make you cry, right? And so if
Ooh.
that's contingent upon another person, one, you have no business in a relationship. And I think we disguise insecurity very well, because we
Mhm.
wear this facade of, like, I'm this strong, confident individual, and deep down inside or underneath all that, you're really not, because somebody, and we're all human. So I'm not saying you can't get irritated or frustrated or bothered, but if that just lingers, right? If somebody forgetting to put the cap back on the toothpaste, or somebody leaving the seat up, right, or down, whatever your preference, like if somebody doing that,
Mhm.
like, if that can ruin, if that happens at 6 o'clock in the morning and you still bothered at 6 o'clock in the evening, that
Fish.
might be you, not the other person. Because, like, if something that, like, okay, I don't do it that way, right? I don't do it that way, but you do. If and okay, that's how they are. That's what they did. Boom, I'm gone, right? Or I might be irritated for a little bit. I got
Right.
at work right now, right? I got somebody at work right now, not in my building, but, like, I have to work with them from time to time. This person will not speak to me, come near me, nothing, because they think that I'm mad at them. I was like, man, I was over that, like, probably like the next.
Think
Did
we
we did he freeze?
it froze up for a second.
So I have people want to be in a relationship to fill the empty place within. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Say that again.
We lost you for a minute there, Rodney. Um, I have here people want to be in a relationship to fill the empty, because this is what I think it boils down to. People want people look for other people to fill the empty place within that's within them.
Totally agree. And I think
And that
Because
is a setup for a breakup,
exactly.
which is why I believe many people, like, you can ask someone. I'm always curious when I see these new relationships. I have a friend that's in a very new and seemingly thriving. Y'all know how we do it. You know how we start relationship. And I say this, if we can start it, then we can do it. But we have this thing about this they have this thing about NRE, new relationship energy, right?
Right.
We can start it and we do really well at it, and then later, oh, he was the representative. And ladies, I'm gonna call us out on this, because we say more than men that they are the representative, and I beg to differ. I think we are just as much as a representative as men are. I really
Now,
do.
I'll share, I'll be a little transparent for a moment, if I will, if I can rather.
You absolutely
But
can.
I was recently in a relationship, right? About a year and a half, and the
Ago,
older,
or that long? About a year and a half ago, or you were in one for that time frame?
no, it's about that time frame, and it was just almost going on 2 years.
Okay.
The old Trent would have dived all in and just did everything, threw a ton of money at her, to try and impress all this other schools, everything, right? So she gave me an ultimatum, right? So it was 6 months in. She was like, I need a time frame on when you're gonna get the ring. I'm like, what ring? I didn't even ask you anything. What you talking about? The old Trent would have gave her the ring to appease her, to shut her up, and all this other foolishness. The Trent now pumped the brakes on all levels. Like, yo, hold on a second. First of all, you're not gonna place me in a box. Second of all, I need to rethink this. I mean, she was a wonderful girl, beautiful girl, everything. Corporate girl, everything. She's good. She's just not good for me. So that was a red flag for me. Putting me on a time frame with a ring, come on.
Was it
And look,
just that though? Was it just so? Because I heard you say
as
corporate.
as as she started pushing it, talking about the ring, I started seeing other things in her that I didn't like. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I was blinded for a minute, like, wow, she fine as hell and everything she got it going on. So I'm excluding all the craziness that was really there in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
the old Trent would have bought into all that foolishness. But the new Trent, let me pump my brakes and let me put you back on this plane. Get out of here. I mean, she's a wonderful girl, but she's just not a girl for me.
I think, Tammy, I think that one of the things that I've noticed, especially in modern times, is the relationships that are open and public so fast, so frequent, tend to be
Mhm.
the ones that end fastest, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if you are happy and if you are content, you don't need to broadcast it because you too busy being your happy self and you enjoying the person that you with. You ain't stopping it like, oh, got to put this on Facebook today. Got to tweet this out. Oh, look at us. We over here. We didn't took this vacation. We didn't did what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that this is the recipe for success. I'm not saying that.
You know what I think though, and because I was a part of that whole situation with several women. When you put it out there, what are you hiding? You cover
Exactly.
it up. You're covering. I know what I was covering up. I know exactly what I was covering up. I don't know what she was covering up, but I knew what I was covering up. But
That's
when you
Y'all
put
lost me there. What you guys lost me when you say when you put it out there, you were covering up something or you weren't.
something up, you putting it out there. Look at all this happiness, but you probably beating up brains out at home.
I have seen
Maybe.
and I'm gonna use this comparison. Think about the richest and the wealthiest people in this country and in this world. You probably pass by them all the time and have no idea, right? Because
Exactly.
what? Because they're not flashy, right? They're not showing off their money. They're not trying to impress people. They literally are just going day by day, living their life, right? They probably drive a Ford Taurus, right? I think Warren Buffett, I think he's the one that owns Geico. Man drives a Ford Taurus, right? Like
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
you would
Lives in.
never know. And I think relationships, like, and I'm not, again, this is not the recipe for success, but from what I see, a lot of times the people who are like so public and so fast and so frequent, right? I feel like Trent, where it's like, then you find out who they are in front of company, who they are at the family barbecue, who they are at the cookout, who they are in church, who they are on social media. That is not their life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now
Because
that goes back. I can agree with you, but I also think that goes back to the question that we posed somewhere. Most people want, ladies, I'm just gonna say it.
Oh,
Most women want a man because number one, you think you have to have one. You're supposed to, and I'm not saying because I love relationships. But if you are going in it because you think that's what you're supposed to have, more so than what you have to share in a relationship, the
yeah,
things, the qualities that you have to share, um, it's a wrap. And we have to be honest, you guys are choosing people who they're the greatest thing since homemade sliced bread that you smell at the corner of the road that you're turning on. And then all of a sudden, we make the excuse that, oh, he was the representative. No, he showed you exactly who his ass was, but you
right.
just wanted to be so caught up with a man, any man would
yep,
be the right man.
yep.
And now that right man is all of a sudden, he's a dog. He's this, he was barking when he met you. I mean, let's just keep it real. Was barking when
Real
you
talk.
met him.
But I think honestly, if we're doing, we're comparing apples to oranges. I believe that women want that more than men as far as relationships go. I honestly believe that.
Want
Like
what?
I personally, I could take it or leave it. I could
That
have,
women want the relationship more than men
yeah,
do?
hell yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why?
First of all, these days in this climate, these women are headaches, man. Like, real, let's just be honest about it. They're headaches. They're headaches. I lived a very
Why do you think they are? Why do you think they're headaches?
because they haven't reached their high levels of themselves yet. They haven't.
Do you think women and back how different is the headaches from the women from your mother's day
It's a
to now?
migraine.
Migraine.
Different.
I, Tammy, I think to answer your original question, I really think it's society. I think society has high expectations for women, and therefore women try to live up to them. Right?
Exactly.
Have a husband by a certain time, have children by a certain time. You know, there are all these high expectations for women, and they try to live up to them. Meanwhile, society has low expectations for men when it comes to relationships. We are viewed as physical creatures, right? And and we try to live up to that low expectation of just, hey, wherever I can get it, right? Like we live up to the. I think society has everything to do with it. I think we try to live up to the expectations from society. Society, as much as we try to get away from it, with everything that we're doing now, like it's still like women are expected to uh to care for the household, care for their children, to be in relationships, to be married, to have children. Meanwhile, for men, it's like, okay, he has a good job, he can provide. Oh, somebody talking to you, or he said something. Okay, like he's gonna step in and like don't talk to my woman that way, or like you know, he the big bad wolf, and like we live up to those expectations. And I think because society has these high expectations for women, I think women want to live up to them as much as we want to deny it. We all, men and women, try to live up to the expectations of the society that we're part of.
We,
So do
we,
you guys think that men don't want to be in in a loving, caring relationship? Do you think most men do not want that in this day and time?
no, that's not it. And I'm piggyback off of what Rodney was talking about society. On the conversation, we spoke on how society placed us in this box, that we speak from this box. They place us in this box. And this is the box that we speak out of, men and women. We talk all these different things, what we want a man to do, we want a woman to do, all this other foolishness. All that society has placed us in a box, and this is where we're talking from. Most men, here's the crazy thing about a lot of folks are probably like, yeah, you know what, he's right. Most men are very simple, very, very simple. No complications, no nothing. Just, hey, man, I'll cook the food. Don't worry about it. When we get home, we'll have dinner.
I
Well,
disagree with you on that.
well, I mean, I don't know how they do it anywhere else, but in the South, we'll do it that way.
But I'm saying meaning that um there, I know you said most, and we have a comment. Jim Stone, tell me which statement you disagree with and why, because I saw you said you disagree with the statement, but I'm not sure which one because we've said so much. But I don't. It goes back to the right wrong person, you guys. We are all
I
the
agree.
wrong person in some sense. And I get what you're saying, that you feel that men are more simple.
Very
Maybe so. We're our makeup is totally different. But I
simple.
do feel that men are dealing just like you have an opinion about women today. I feel that there are no more men's like, and I'm gonna say my granddad. There are no. I can't even imagine that man today. And I'm not saying they don't exist, um, but I believe that men have fallen into a box category as well, and it's worse because it is the man. It's worse.
Here's where men have fallen into that category. The thing of going back and forth with these women. They go back and
Going
forth.
back and forth like a woman.
Exactly.
Not even with these women, like a woman.
Like
Let's just keep it real.
about to debate with you. I'm not about to. I said what I said, and
I
that's
agree.
what it is.
Yeah, I do, Tammy. I do agree with what you just said. I do agree with what you just said.
I
And
mean, and I'm so serious that's what I meant. Like that my granddaddy, some of the things I see, and it's my own personal opinion, guys. Some of the things that I see men doing today, it's like y'all do everything we do. And it's kind of like the children saying, y'all adults do everything we do. There's no separation, there's no identity.
I'm I'm going to go back to something I said earlier, and that is, I think men need to be wanted. So in terms of being in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, I think that men need to be wanted. I don't think that men need all of these extra things. I think the average man is very simple, and it's enough. It's enough for me. I know that you want to be with me, and so when I find that, or when I get that, it's like, all right, cool, and I'm gonna know that you want me
Right.
just by how you carry yourself.
I'm gonna tell you, the average woman would say to that is the minute, and I'm not saying all women, when we show you that we want you, not just want you, and when we show you that when we show up, you act a fool.
Pretty
You
much.
try to play me.
I
Meaning that, like, most women today feel like if I show a man that they are taken advantage of when they show a man that they want them there in their lives, that they want to care for them or whatever, and maybe care is the wrong word, but they are there.
Here's the thing: what women need to
totally
understand.
agree, Tammy.
Here's the thing with women: you want to be soft, I'll give you a softer place to land. Be soft, and I'll give you a softer place to land.
A soft what?
I'll give you a softer place to land
That
when
if the women want to be soft or the men?
no, the men want the woman to be soft. I mean,
Uh-huh.
just you want to be treated soft, I'll give you a softer place to land, but you have to get the bitterness out of your mouth.
But okay, so do you guys agree? Just like women, everybody shows up with stuff. Everybody shows up with something that they need to address, men and women. I don't feel that we are getting the clarity that's needed in the beginning. Number one, are we both here wanting the same thing? What is the same thing?
Right.
Meaning, where are we going? Are we getting into a relationship? I don't think we ask enough questions for the person to even have a clue. Is the if this is my right wrong person? Can I fall in love with his scars and he mine? We have
Let's be honest.
taken love.
Let's be honest. If we placing all our junk on the table, you have to be at a certain place in life to deal with that person's junk.
And
I
Tammy,
think you should be able to put all your stuff on the table and open and at least have an agreement that one day when we sit to this table, we're going to have to open this envelope and
Exactly.
address what's in it. Because otherwise, then why go through all the bullshit if you just know every relationship is going to end up done, which is what's
I,
happening. Like, people are starting out, this is my boo, this is my soulmate, and then we get these babies, and then everybody all of a sudden is the worst person in the world. They became the worst person in the world.
I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you showing up with your junk again.
Hmm.
In all of your junk, do you want me? That is my question. Do you, because if you because
You
want
simple. You simple. I like
it,
that.
like it is that simple. Like it, and I don't mean want me with your mouth. Do you want me with your heart?
But
Like with all of your flaws, do you want me with your heart? And again, going back to what I said, like, and can I give you the things that you need? Because everybody's needs are different. And some people need more than others. Can I
But
give what
most people don't know what they need.
and look, but when I see like, oh, they need a little bit more than what I can give. And I'll go here, Tim. I'll go back to work, right? I'll go back to work. Last year I lost about 20 teachers, right? And a lot of them said, you don't support me, right? That was what they told me. And what I said to them was, no, I support you, but I don't support foolishness, right? That's what they needed.
Mhm.
They needed somebody to support their foolishness. I'm not here to support your foolishness. Now, if you are showing up to work every day, if you are teaching the children, building relationships with the children, doing what you got to do, I will support you 100%. But when you come in this building and you cussing at children, or you mistreat them or provoke, no, I can't give you that, and I know I can't give you that, and I'm gonna just be honest about it. And so the same thing in relationships. If you need me every day to validate you, to make you feel pretty and beautiful. Like, if you need this all the time, no, I
Oh,
can't do that. And I'm gonna just be honest. I
Would
cannot.
y'all agree that we're in a phase in life where most people do need that more than we can provide? Do you
I,
think?
I,
Probably, but look, probably, and that's how I know. And when I, but I will be honest. I will be honest. I'm not the one. Like I, like I can't
Okay,
do.
so let me ask you guys this: what is one thing or two or whatever that for those who people, and we're going to say choosing the right wrong person. I stand firm on there is no perfect person. Maybe that's the better word.
Yeah.
I,
What are some things when people are looking for someone to do life with? Um, what are some things? And I have some, but I want to start with just this alone, just something so simple. Um, and I've said it earlier. Make sure that the guy or the girl understands that you want a relationship and what that means. What does that look like? Are you wanting a relationship that goes into marriage? You want kids? What does being in a relationship mean to you? How down to, I mean, have go for 5, 6 hour drive, no radio. Have the conversation. Hey, how do we do holidays? Because this shows up. The more you
Mhm.
can look at how they do that first argument, disagreement. What happens? And so, but in order to know that, you guys, you got to know yourself. You got to know, in order to know where you're going or how to get where you want to go, you got to know where you are. If you
Totally.
don't know who you are, you don't know what you want.
And
So I'm going to say that and love yourself first. If you don't absolutely know that you love you and that you're going to take care of you,
yeah.
you can't handle, you're not ready for a relationship.
there it is.
And Tammy, I think in being being the right person, not looking for the right person, but being the right person. I think you have to know your. I totally agree. You have to know yourself, and I think for me, um, I think I I have a better understanding of myself today than I did 10 years ago, than I did 20 years ago, right? And
Doesn't it?
and I will tell you, I learned probably a year ago, and I don't know what I was thinking about. But it but randomly I just said, "Oh my God." I was just thinking about my life, right? Just reflect.
Hmm.
I said, "Oh my God. My biggest issues in life have come when people try to give me rules." Like and I was like, and that may sound crazy, but I was like, "Oh my God, I do not like rules." Like, if you give me a rule, and I had to be honest with myself. I was like, if somebody, my biggest challenges or issues have come in life when people have tried to give me rules, right? And I'm like, you know what? every time people have given me rules, I've broken them. Like my mom, my mom, like put me out at 12 years old, and I was like, even think about that, right? Like even when I was a kid. Now, granted, I was wrong, right? Because I'm just a kid, but I was thinking like, man, like even back then, like and our issue was our conflict was rules. And I was like, for some reason, when people tell me I can't do something, I'm like, watch me,
Okay,
I'm gonna do it.
and I don't mean to interrupt you, but that right there, that in itself, at 12 years old, there was a reason
Yep.
that
Man,
you did not like
it,
rules. And I feel that it's because adults had broken so many rules. I don't know, in your life to you like F rules. Y'all want rules? Let me show you what rules. And then imagine growing up and the decisions made based on that. So the all that came from a place of pain that you had nothing to do with because you're 12 years old.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant. Like we are grown children
Hmm.
trying to do this thing called love or relationships. It ain't gonna work.
And you know what, Tammy? I don't knock I don't knock what you're saying, but I also learned that like for me, just my life up to today, um, and I went through a lot of like painful situations as a kid, right? But I started thinking, and I don't know if this is factual or not, but I started thinking that it's more natural than anything because what I've also learned about myself is that um, in a negative sense, yes, it has caused friction between me and other people, right? But in a positive sense, right, that not liking rules or like going against the grain or all of that, like it has also benefited me, even my role now as a principal, right? Like I just don't accept things, right? And it's like, nah, that ain't right, and so like so there's also like a positive side to that too, where like if it weren't for the fact that I'm like, nah, that ain't right, like things would not have gotten done. Like things at my school have started to turn because I've said, nah, I don't like that. No, I don't rock like that. Right. And I've been able to stand up and have difficult conversations with people who are used to getting their way. And I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. And so while it has had its negative or perceived negative like impact on my life, it has also benefited me and other people when I'm like, no, this is not right. No, I got to stand up. No, somebody has to say something. Even if it means I'm going to be out, even if it means like this is about to end or whatever the case is, like it has also been proven to be beneficial. So, but it took me almost 40 years to learn like I have a problem with rules.
to me, that's nothing wrong with that. I have a problem with rules myself, but it's like to me, you take a responsibility for the toxin you bring to your own party.
So
So,
would y'all, when you say rules, would you, in a relationship, do you agree that, and I don't like the word rules, but if that's what we need to call it, that's fine. I like understandings that we should have a much understanding in relationship, and I think we fail in that because we don't have the conversations. Like we don't. You guys talking about not being the same from. I'm telling you guys, it feels like I am changing every day. But I recently, Sunday night into Monday morning, I had probably, and Brandon and I, we get really deep. Brandon's my son, for those of you who don't know. We get deep. We got so deep Sunday night into Monday morning that I had an awakening moment about why I don't, how can I say this? I try not to expose people. Why
be,
I don't
be
like
right back. I got to take a call. I'll be right back.
gifts. Okay. Okay. Why I don't like gifts. I don't like receiving gifts, and I just really had I just got the opportunity to understand this. That
Right.
being said, it was interesting to go back and think about the men in my life who that's what they wanted to just shower me with, and it just didn't work for me. And realizing now it did, and then coming across to them as, get this now, very unappreciative. And it had nothing to do with being unappreciative of the gifts. I just didn't like receiving gifts. I just don't, it's just wasn't my thing. But I just had an opportunity through a conversation with my son that went back to childhood, um that brought that up. So imagine all the mishaps or the miscommunication, the misunderstandings in relationships that has come from that. And that's all I'm saying. You got to know yourself. You got to understand your your deepest demon, your unresolvable, seemingly unresolvable issues for you, not for the guy, not for the girl, because he or she's going to have to do their own work. And I'm saying that we are not doing that. We are just simply not doing the work that is needed to be the number one, not one of the number ones in a relationship. Period. So, Mr. Trinity, you have nothing to say after that.
I have anything to say. No, I'm here. I'm just here. I have anything to say on that. But when you talk about relationships, right? I see the heading here: trusting your feelings can be dangerous. You wrote that, or was that
I
something?
did. I did.
What did you mean by that?
Meaning, so when we meet someone, I think we really feed off of how we feel. Oh, this feels good. I think he might be the one. She might be the one because it feels good. And earlier, I had one out there about the how we sometimes are attracted to people based on the how familiar we feel with them, not understanding that. I told someone today that trauma sometimes attract trauma,
Yeah,
most
agree.
times. And sometimes we are attracted to someone, and I think Rodney touched on this, but also those places where we may not have healed and we see that in someone else, we are attracted to that because that's what we want to do. And it still does not align up because those are your traumatic experience. I'm not saying that he or she cannot help you, because love certainly can. Love, understanding, and having someone to sit with you in your stuff, in those things that are on the table, is one of the most beautiful things. But
But
you have to be able to do it for yourself.
I was getting ready to get to that. I found, me personally, from my personal experience, I found that sitting in my own stuff, dealing with myself, I was able to
Hmm.
move on with life that way.
Hmm.
So I didn't have to have someone sitting there with me all those years. Oh yeah, this is great. She gonna ride with me because she dealing with me with my stuff. I had to deal with myself first.
And I agree. I agree. We must. But when you're in that relationship, there are things that you're gonna have sometimes you're gonna have to sit in the same shit together with a different roll of tissue. I mean, really, I'm serious. And again, I just think we think relationship is this fairy tale. We get married, we have our babies, and then in most cases we get the babies, and then that's too much. The marriage is too much. This is too much. Life is too much. But this is what you wanted, and this is what happens in relationship.
It takes tough conversations, man. Not just romantic relationships, friendships. It takes tough conversations to get on with life.
What
Good.
do you think about, we
Good.
come to people, we come to our partners with inner emptiness rather than inner fullness?
My thought on that is everybody come with some shit. Everybody come with some shit.
That's my reason
Here's
about
the
sitting in it with the 2 rolls of tissue.
here's the question though. Is your shovel big enough to carry my shit? So everybody's gonna come with something. So sitting on a high panel of judges, that's not
So
gonna.
why do you think when it comes, when it's time for the shit, that most people run, that it doesn't last? Do you
Honestly,
think why?
honestly, when you see someone else's stuff, you seeing your stuff.
So that makes you not. Do you think people? Okay,
Because if I have to deal with your stuff, that means that at some point we're gonna have to deal with my stuff, and I'm not trying to do that. So I got to get out of here.
that's it. Okay, so listen at this. Learning about your fears of intimacy as well as about control issues that may surface with a primary partner can lead much to personal growth, enhancing your ability to love. And it says relationships can be the PhD of personal growth. See, and I think, and it almost, I would rather say it has to be the PhD of personal growth, because I feel like when you get that person that is the relationship is reciprocal, that both of you are giving and taking and providing, and what both of you, that is when you start to grow even more. You
Right.
see yourself. And I just don't think we take the time, or like you just said, Trent, that we want to see. I'm not gonna say see, that we want to smell, or we want to acknowledge that our shit stinks.
Pretty much.
That you need the air freshener just like everybody else when you go in there to use that
Right.
bathroom.
Let me tell you
Unless
something.
you got some clean eating and clean living, and unless you get to work for a clean soul.
I got to be real with your audience here. For me, I thought my shit didn't stink for a number of years. I'm talking about for a couple of decades, few decades.
Everybody know that, Trent. Everybody know that.
Knock it off. But the moment that I had to face myself, I couldn't go anywhere. I was in that wheelchair. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to deal with me. That's the only way I got out of my way. I had to deal with myself from that wheelchair, man. I had to.
Hmm.
And that's when I say you have to deal with yourself first before you could actually deal with any relationship or any type, not just romantic, friendships, business partners, anything. You have to deal with yourself first.
Oh, exactly.
I'm a better friend. I'm a better friend to you now, all these years later, because of what I went through and I had to deal with myself. I'm a better friend now than I was previous years.
Hmm.
You know, I can honestly say that. I know I am. I don't. I'm not waiting for you to say, you know what, Trent, you're a better friend now. No, I know I am because I know my own shit. I call myself on my own shit.
Mm. What are some of them, and we'll get ready to jump off of here. I know we talked about, what are some of the things that you can do when you're looking for the right, wrong person. But what are some of the mistakes that you think some of the biggest mistakes we make we are, when we choose that person to do life with?
We don't ask them the right questions because we don't even know the right questions ourselves to ask. Like
Mm.
my thing is, like we talk on the conversation, right? What are your three top things that you look for in a partner? What are your three top things? What do you look for? I start off. I look for compassion, honesty, and openness.
You know mine, right?
Yeah, communication, communication, communication. Exactly.
I think with if two people are and can willing can, and I'm saying to you guys here, because you can't have one person that's being the one that shows up.
Exactly.
You can't. And that's why I said First of all, just make sure that there's an understanding of what does relationship mean to you, and where does one go from relationship. Do you want to be married? Do you want kids? How does fatherhood look to you? How does being a mother look to you?
Right.
Because if, and maybe I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
I didn't say it.
I shouldn't say that. I almost, just however a woman shows up is in most cases how a mama is going to show up. What kind of woman she is what kind of mama she's going to be to your child, and what kind of father he or man he is. Now, yeah, some people get that, they say they do, and not they change instantly or whatever. But there's so many things, like you said, that they don't ask the questions, and that's why I say communicate, communicate, communicate.
Right.
And when you do that, don't deny the understanding of what you hear. Don't deny those red, don't look over those red flags,
But you
because
know,
there's no bigger lie than that you didn't know how this person was. Everybody shows you who they are. You don't want to see it.
but here's the thing: when we ignore those red flags, I gotta say, I know you gotta leave, but I gotta say, when
I'm good.
it's like when I ignored the red flags, right? When I was ignoring red flags, right? In my mind, I was wanting something. I wanted her. I knew nothing was right about this person. All these women I've dealt with, nothing was right about them. But the want superseded what I really needed. You get my point?
No.
Meaning, I wanted her. So I did everything. I put everything out of my mind. You know what? Hey, I can look past that. I can fix that.
I think it's deeper than that. Why did you want her? And that's what I meant
Being
when
a just
for
being
me.
being the man that I was, I just wanted it. That's
So
all.
you didn't really want a relationship.
No,
But
no.
but again, it goes back to, especially to my ladies, to women, when that man show you that he don't want a relationship, that he want to drop some stuff off.
That's it. That was it. And
Don't try to make him a husband. Don't try to make
out of
him a
10,
husband or a father.
9 times out of 10, I knew I was displaying that, but I would camouflage with throwing money at him.
And seemingly, it seems many of us can be bought today.
Pretty much. There you go. But that was the wrong way to live. I lived like that for a ton of years because that's what I wanted. I wanted, so it superseded my need. Now you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My want superseded my need. Knowing I had no intentions on marrying that woman, being with that woman at all.
Just like I told Rodney, though, that goes back to something.
Yeah. Well,
That, and
you
we
know what?
got to start dealing with the something that it goes back to, so that we can go forward if we want to build families. Because you guys, and I'm not saying that we're not, there's people aren't doing better, but as family structure and culture, and being there to give our young people an example of love and fatherhood and motherhood and family, we are failing, because not everybody, but a lot of people, all you want to do is hoe and behold. When you get that, because if you didn't, you wouldn't put up with the representative. Don't holler representative after you did
Wait,
everything with the representative.
wait. You know I'm not gonna let you just ride over on that. What did you just say?
What about what?
You said something about the wanted to be whole, and what did you say? You had to chain that up for me again.
Okay, I think, see, you should have caught me right when I said it. About people want, some people just want to be a hoe, and some want to be, I don't know how I said it.
I'm trying to get some clarification on. So what you're saying is the women saw that in the man, right? She saw this, right?
Right.
But she decided to keep on doing it and dealing with it because of what?
Because a lot of things. But I mean, I don't know exactly how I said it, but women don't let him hoe you and then cry later. Don't let him make you out of a hole. I mean, we got to keep it real, because
I get it.
as you're being made and put
Yeah.
and being allowing a man to do you this way, in some instances we're getting children, and now you hate this child's father who you allowed to hold you.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
Plant your seed in soil that you don't even grow in.
Right? But here's the thing. Taking personal responsibility, both parties. So we can get past a ton of this stuff. We can fix a lot of these issues if we take personal responsibility for that. Both parties have to.
But I agree, and that's what I'm saying. Like, don't cry later when this man has shown you who he is, who has you've allowed him to break you down
Right.
over and over and over again. And his actions, sometimes you don't have to ask the questions. I think you should always ask for clarity and hear someone says, yes, I want to be in a relationship. Yes, this is what this means to me. Because when his or her actions don't align with that, then it's now you got to make a decision.
You're absolutely right.
And hopefully before what?
The sweat dry. Hey, I was looking at that video yesterday, I believe. That was pretty good, man. I gotta get over there and do another one. That was
I
pretty.
mean, yeah, before the sweat dries, because when the sweat dries, now your emotions have also dried in the sweat. And it's hard to get that. It's hard once sweat dries, baby. It's hard to get back what you just gave.
Damn, stop.
Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
It's hard. It's hard to get that back. So, I mean, I would say don't move so quick. Don't move into situations. And what's this new thing that is it a situation that people are having now, not a
I
relationship?
yeah.
There's this new
I'm
thing. We're in a situation. I think that's what they're calling the
a
relationships now.
situationship or
Situationship. Maybe yeah. Is that it?
I don't know.
It's something like there's this new little thing that, oh, we're not in a relationship, we're just in a situation.
Oh, okay.
This is like you gotta keep up now, Trent. Your conversations with Trent gotta keep up. But
Okay.
there is this new thing, like we are putting up with too much. If you know what you want, and you know that until you meet the person who not just tells you, hey, we're on the same page here, or at least in the same book with the same ending in mind, then don't play. Embrace singleness, because as you say, there's not being single is not a death sentence. I think we both say this. And being married is not what's how did we put that?
I don't,
Being single is not a death sentence,
being single is not a death sentence. I
but
know.
being married is not, like, it can be. But I think oftentimes people compare it and think, oh, because I'm single, then I'm not this, I'm not that. And then it'll make you settle.
Being single, it doesn't mean you're sick.
I think y'all did a show on that. Tell the people, because you're on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow we're talking about on tomorrow on the B2G network. Thought I plugged.
Oh, would you like to share some of that now? We've not
Sure, we
shared
sure.
just a little bit, because I really would like for us to do like a whole show on what we're doing, getting ready to do.
Gotcha.
Just a little bit. You share because you've been doing the work.
Yeah, actually, Butterfly Evolution and Taylor Kennedy Media combined. Now it's actually B2G Unity TV, better TV together. So we've been started this whole network, Tammy and I, and I've been doing some things over there and got a website, b2gunitytv.com. All the shows are streaming on demand. This one probably will be up on demand as well. Once she said I get her to send it to me. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But yeah, B2G TV, Unity TV is a spot where we're actually doing some great work and just trying to push people forward, with a different mindset, a better mindset. So
So
b2gunitytv.com is a spot.
so that being said, you guys, I'm gonna put it out there so you guys, and you guys can go take a look. He's being a little modest, and maybe because I said I want us to do an entire video and kind of an introduction. We're taking this to TV, and we
It's
want
now.
to
It's right now. So
right, but like we have some big dreams. We need a lot of help. Trent needs a lot of help because I promise y'all I've been not doing anything. Um,
can't believe you admitted to that. Oh,
I mean, I haven't, because I really, y'all, my focus right now is truly grandma. I'm serious. If it don't say grandma, I don't really want to be a part of it. But I like I told Rodney today, God has been whipping me some good here lately about not doing what He's called me to do.
but
And
it's all
so,
good. Thing about it, I mean, when you're ready, everything's gonna go in its place. Everything's still running. So we're
yeah,
doing work. So it's fine. Everything's fine over there. So you guys go take a look at it. B2GUnityTV.com. We upload every week. Um, and more stuff to come. Documentaries, all that good stuff. So check it
right.
out.
So if you have a story to tell, if you know someone has a story to tell, we're going to be doing more than that. But be on the lookout for Trent and I to come back and do an entire maybe hour show about what we're doing, why we're doing it, uh, what we want to come to your city and do. And it is about unity. We are better together in everything that we do, even in relationship. Like we've talked about this, we played with this topic tonight, but at the end of the day, and I'm serious about this part, so I'll cut the BS and really get serious. Relationships matter, and they are valuable. And when two people on one accord get together, there's this. Let's look at our first president. I'm gonna say my forever president.
That's right.
When two people get together and they keep their individual wings on one body, there is nothing they cannot do and achieve both individually
And
but also together.
just to piggyback off of that, and I'll speak on B2G Unity just one quick second. But for me, anybody who know me, I've been doing a conversation for almost 20 years. And Tammy's been a constant in my life for about, I'm gonna say about 12 of those 20 years. About 12 of those years. And I've always come to Memphis, speaking in Memphis at some of her events, all that good stuff. And when I became paralyzed, Tammy was the one that walked me out of the wheelchair, right? So I got to thinking once she's talking about, hey, you need to come back and start podcasting again, and not thinking that she would be like video and doing this for video. I declined to do it. She finally convinced me to do it. So I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? The only way that I could be effective at this again is actually doing it with my friend. That's the only way that it'll happen, because every single event I've done with Tammy has been a great success. Not just like shows that you guys have seen over the years. Tammy's been a part of those shows. And on her end, I've been a part of her stuff. And you didn't see me, y'all didn't see her. We've always been in each other's life as far as business goes. Always.
Yeah.
So it feels good, and everything's going well with that. But B2GUnityTV.com is the spot, so you can see what we're doing. So it's good stuff.
So you guys go out there, check it out. If and come back, put a note on tag Trent and I in it. Um, just what your thoughts. If you're interested in kind of doing your own thing, we're going to get to that as well, where you can have your podcast or I keep saying podcast, your show, your TV podcast, I guess, on our network. It's through Roku and probably also soon going to be on the Amazon, I guess, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
fires
Um,
on the anniversary of the incident, we're gonna push it up a notch.
okay. Okay. So there's what we're saying is there's a lot to come, much more to come. It's time to take this thing to the next level because we are dying. We are spiritually dying, if not already dead. And I just cannot sit back and watch it happen. I've been there. I've did that spiritual death thing. Um and what I see going on mentally with our kids, I understand that it is indirect. It is because we have failed with our spiritual journey, with our life journey. We have failed with healing.
Right.
And so this generational curse is about, or breaking this generational curse is about changing the way we think, the way we parent, the way we love, the way we view love, the way we see God. Because believe it or not, all this stuff we hold in affects our relationship with God.
Exactly.
So we have to be more mindful of our spirit than we are of this world. We will feed our flesh and not and never realize that our spirit is hungry. And so that's what the show is going to the TV. I got to get these words. It's so awesome to just have the know that we will be where you can see us in many other places. We have the apps coming, so I'm going to jump in. I'm slowly getting back to this thing where I'll have more time and I'll be helping Trent a lot more.
It's,
But kudos to him because he has he's did the work. So
it's
I put
if
decline. I just put what huh?
I said if I did the work, you did the work as well. So it's all
Well,
good.
well, 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 let's just keep it like it is. You did it. So, and I'm appreciative. I'm very appreciative. I don't, I guess Rodney's not coming back with us. What would be some final words for you as it relates to people and their relationships?
Get to that higher level of yourself. You get a better understanding of yourself, and you'll get the perfect mate for yourself.
Say that one more time.
Get to the better, higher level of yourself, and you'll find the person who's actually supposed to be for you, period. But you have to have an understanding of yourself first.
Okay.
You don't get no understanding of yourself, it won't happen for you. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about friendships. Be a better friend, be a better partner, be a better business partner. But the only way we can do that, you got to get a better, higher understanding of yourself. You got
Mhm.
to get to that higher understanding of yourself, then you move into something great.
I will say there's a couple of things, but I encourage everyone to just kind of step back, especially we're coming to this time where another year is gone.
Yeah, that's it.
We've lost so many people, and in losing those people, there's so many unresolved issues. There's unresolved pain, and you guys, once they are gone,
That's a wrap.
it's a wrap. And so I feel that in death, we should always learn how to live more life. So silence your life, detach from the world a little bit, just a little bit, and listen to your inner spirit.
I would say a lot. When you truly focus on yourself, you lose all distractions. So you have to
I
focus.
say a little bit because that's if you have. I'm telling you, someone told me today this is hard, and I said I wish I could tell you it's not going to get harder, but it is. And what she meant was this change in my life, changing the way I think, the way I process, the way I reflect. She said, "This is hard." And I said, "I'm sorry, but it gets harder, but it's so worth it because you're trying to undo some things that you didn't know was tied up."
And that's true. And the thing about it, man, when you think about that, see, I don't coming out of this situation, time, see, I don't think about things as being hard, right? But the moment,
But wait a minute. How long have you been doing this though? See, you're coming out of a situation that you had more understanding of before.
Uh,
The
yeah,
situation did not break you, it just
I,
added to you. And
I
some people have not
and
had the opportunity to heal or to know about healing.
I was blessed to have acquired the tools to get over this stuff years and years ago. God prepared me almost 20 years ago to get past these things. And this is why I've thrown my life out there for these people so they'll see I'm leaving a blueprint. So it's not, but it's when your friend said it's hard, yeah, it's hard, but I'm telling you, man,
Transformation is a slow death to life,
exactly, it is.
a
It really
slow
is.
death to life. Okay, so
Right.
usually it's a slow death to death, and you lose a part of yourself. There's
Transformation.
that you don't, that you have resonated with for so long, and it's become so common and so comfortable, as bad as it is for you, and shedding that
Right.
is dying.
But the thing about it, whoever that friend is you have there, I hope she's watching or he's watching, saying it's hard. I'm telling you, man, there's light at the bottom of that tunnel. I'm telling you, there's light there.
And that's what I meant by it's so worth it, because the chains, the freedom that you get to, and I know exactly how she feels. I know exactly where she is, because you guys, it's so easy sometimes to feel like it's just easier to go back and deal with what you know, because you know how it's going to make you
But
feel and you know where
you
it's going.
know what helped me when I was in the bottom of that pit when I lost. Well, you know that personally because I cried on your shoulder many a nights, many a days. When I lost Nan and Greg, I, I felt the entire world depleted.
Mm.
Uh, a place where I didn't know what I was going to do. I lost my lifeline. But centering yourself is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. When you center yourself, when I say center yourself, you guys out there know what I'm talking about. Center yourself and speak with God, man. That's the
Yeah.
only way you'll be able to walk out of anything.
Yeah.
So when you say and speak life. Don't say, "Oh, this is hard." This is hard, but I'm about to get over this mountain. I'm about to
Right.
climb this mountain. Then that's when your mountains become pebbles, man. You walk them pebbles, cross those pebbles. That's pebbles. My mountain was always a pebble because that's the way I looked at it. Because I had no interest in that wheelchair, not one interest at all, zero. But try to speak life. I know it's hard, but it gets better.
And easy way, and we'll be going on all night. Easy. I want to read something before we get off. An easy way to do that, because sometimes you don't know what that life is, what that those words of life to speak. There is scripture for everything that you're going through.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have one, the one that always works for me is just the simplest thing, the Lord's Prayer. Because sometimes I don't know what to ask for, but that works for me. I want to read this one more time, and you guys really listen to this. And if you have somebody in your life, I hate to say that's worth fighting for, um, because I just have my own issues with that. Sometimes I think it leads us to the wrong place. But if you have someone in your life that you don't know if they're the right person, you're starting to feel like they're not, um, go back to yourself. Take the questions off of them, or the need off of them, and start internally asking yourself, are you the right person right now? Are you the right person? Not just for them, but are you the right person? I love this, so I'm going to read it again, and that's where I'll end tonight. So we're seeking that special person who is right for us. But if you've been through enough relationships, as we have, you guys, if you've been through enough relationships, you begin to suspect there's no right person, just different flavors of wrong. Why is this? Because you yourself are wrong in some way, and you seek out partners who are wrong in some complementary way. But it takes a lot of living to grow fully into your own wrongness. And it isn't until you finally run up against your deepest demons, your unsolvable problems, the ones that make you truly who you are, that we're ready to find a lifelong mate. Only then do you finally know what you're looking for. You're looking for the wrong person, but not just any wrong person, the right wrong person. Someone you lovingly gaze upon and think, this is the problem I want to have. I will find that special person who is wrong for me in just the right way. Let our scars fall in love. And to me, that's really what relationship is about. I know your scars. I love them. And I choose to continue to fall in love with them. Period. And you, the same for me. May not be on the same day in the same way, but we show up for each other.
It's good stuff.
That's your right. That's your right partner.
It's-
So thank you. This has been great. We got to come back. I want to do something on grief. You want to come back and do it on with me?
yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Um, yeah. So that may be next week, you guys. Just because this is a season of death. This is so much death. I just don't even know what to think about it anymore. And people are really already on shaky ground, and the death is taking them to another level.
That,
So I
that,
think we need
that'll be
to.
a good thing. We could actually walk through the 5 steps of grief and loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. We really went long tonight. So I appreciate all of you, the comments for hanging in there. I am back. So look for me. Hold me accountable. I am back. Go check out the website. And again, connect with us, especially if you're here. And Trent's kind of all over the place now, but especially if you're here and you want to help in some kind of way, especially if you have production experience, any kind of thing like that. I don't know. There's ways for you to help. So thank you guys. My brother Trent, thank you for helping out tonight. Rodney, hope things are well with you. Thank you. Love you all. Be safe.
Okay, now.